Sali Hughes, thanks for having us round.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, you're looking at the new book.
Gazing at it.
I know,
lovingly.
adoringly. It's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
So Pretty Honest was obviously a huge hit, and you've followed it up with Pretty Iconic, and that is looking at beauty icons past, present and future. Where did the idea come from? Why did you decide to do that?
So I was being hassled for another book, and I didn't really want to write another beauty book because the first one was just it was meant to be everything you need is in there, and I felt like it defeated the object to do a volume 2 of more stuff you needed to learn how to do. So I didn't really know what I wanted to do, and then one day, very early one morning, I was lying in bed talking to my partner, and I was talking about the products that I had in the loft in an old toolbox, products that I couldn't throw away, and they were all products that meant something to me. And I was saying how the toolbox was a bit like a mixtape for me, because all these products signified things I was doing, people I was seeing, music I was listening to, places I was going. And I started naming them, and then I started writing them down just on a little note on my phone, and before I knew it, I had over 300 and thought, actually, maybe that's a book. So I emailed my publishers and said, I think this might be a book, and they loved it straight away. They understood it straight away and said, go for it. Then I had to write the bloody things. I was a bit gutted. I'd overcommitted.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then we were off.
I was surprised how emotional I got reading the book. I mean, I knew I would. I knew there would be kind of really touching chapters in there. But the Old Spice chapter, I was absolutely bawling. And it runs the kind of full gamut of emotions, doesn't it, really? And it made me think about how complicated and personal everybody's relationship with beauty is, particularly if you're a bit of a beauty junkie. Like, it's everything, isn't it? Because it's personal and intimate, it's social, and then of course it's nostalgic, it's your life, it's your autobiography.
Well, you know, I'm a big one for attaching sentimentality to objects. First of all, I do that anyway, so I especially do it with beauty products. And I often think that they're so of their time that I think they can signify times of your life more strongly than anything else. You know, quite often when you read in a glossy magazine, you read a load of posh women saying, and this was my Bieber dress that my mother left me, or here's my Aussie Clark wedding dress that was my grandmother's, or whatever. And I can never relate to that. For me, it's the Vosine around the bath, or the smell of my nana's handbag and the compact she would take out of it. I suppose those kind of little cheap objects mean a bit more to me because I saw them around me all the time. They're not heirloom things, but they're things that have loads of memories and meaning steeped in them for me.
And they're kind of normal life as well. I mean,
yeah,
it's
the
a
kind
very
of quotidian nature of shampoo and soap.
Yeah.
I find quite appealing.
And you also say in the book that, you know, no matter what else is going on in the world, in your life, there is a kind of beauty connection that you're making on some level. There's a particularly memorable episode featuring a boy band member where you end up fully clothed in a bath. Are you fully clothed?
I really was fully clothed. Yeah. I think I can say it was New Kids on the Block. So so when I was a teenager, I was doing makeup backstage at the Smash Hits Poll Winners Party, and then there was an after party in a nightclub, and I went to that. I don't know how, but I pulled New Kids on the Block, the entire band. I have no idea how. And I was very, very, very drunk, and I ended up fully clothed in a bath singing the theme tune to Salon Selectives, which was a top shampoo and conditioner brand of the day.
Salon Shine, Salon Glow. I'm taking the backing vocal here. So
like you just stepped out of the salon.
Salon Selectives.
Yeah, so quite the sexy conduct, I'm sure we can all agree. So I had pulled them before that point, I hasten to add. Their standards aren't so low that they would have taken me on after that. But yeah, so I must have been about 16 then, I suppose.
Oh my.
Yeah, so never far out of my head.
Never that far away. I suppose that's the thing. It's never far away from any of us. It is the kind of background music to our lives, all this stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
And what do you think of the beauty landscape now? I mean, is it becoming a more diverse industry? And are we seeing more interesting kind of role models and more accessibility for older women as well?
I definitely think it's changing. It's not changing fast enough, but there is a definite shift. lots of the brands, particularly at L'Oreal, I don't know why that is, but lots of the brands at L'Oreal now have much older spokespeople. Isabella Rossellini has been reinstated by Lancôme after she was sacked for being 40 all those years ago. She's now in her mid-60s and she's back, which has to be the best kind of, it's the most amazing revenge. And then you obviously have Helen Mirren at L'Oréal Paris, and there are various, and Diane Keaton, there are various older role models coming through with big beauty contracts, which never used to happen. In terms of women of colour, that's certainly getting a lot better. There's Lupita Nyong'o at Lancôme, and so on. So we are seeing more diversity, but we're not seeing enough. And I think the problem lies more with retailers than beauty brands, because every single square inch of retail space has to pay for itself. So if darker foundations are not making as much money as paler ones, a retailer simply won't carry them, regardless of whether a brand wants to make them or not. So I really think now we're at the stage in the evolution of beauty where retailers really need to step up. They really need to step up and think, okay, this might be a risk financially at first, but it's important. It's important to move on civilization and consumer habits.
Looking to the future, as you do at the end of the book, what would you like to see happen next in terms of beauty trends and beauty icons? I mean, obviously, you've been kind of quite focused on, as you say, the products that are changing the game. Now, even if you don't love them, contouring, I know you're not a huge fan of. I feel like we've taken eyebrows as far as they can go at this point.
They are now as sharp as they could be, aren't they?
There's just no more stuff that can be done to the human eyebrow, is my instinct. What's yours? What's coming next?
Brows are not going anywhere. Brows are going to continue to be really important. I've looked at the consumer trends, and whereas we might see less of a contoured look going forward, brows are showing no signs of kind of calming down as a trend. I'd like to see
or just
things
generally on the fit, because they are like right out there. Some of the brows that you see.
It's that Instagram brow, that very, very sharp black brow with concealer all around it to make it kind of step out. I mean, I'd like to see more softness, but also I'd like to see, I think the main thing I want to see in beauty is diversity, and I don't just mean in terms of ethnic profiling, although that's the most critically important, as is generational, depictions of older women. Those things are socially very important. But just for the sheer fun of beauty, I just wish people would look different more often. Mm-hmm. I feel that at the moment beauty is becoming, or in danger of becoming, quite homogenised. Everybody wants that Kim Kardashian look. And I'll defend to the death anyone's right to wear that look if that's what they want, but there must be more. There must be more that we want. There must be different looks.
Thank you, Sally.